Hello, comic fans. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Happy April. Spring is springing, and it's time for sunshine, it's time for new beginnings, and new comics. March decided to go out with a bang this year, and my bookshelf is paying the price. So buckle up, hang on tight, because What the Haul begins right now. I'm Mark, and this is Comic Book Revival. Welcome back. I gotta say, we have a real good mix here this month. Nice little bit of everything. So let's start with a big back issue. And I mean big literally and figuratively. From Distillery Media, this is The Devil's Cut, which is the very first book they published. This came out in 2023, and this particular copy is the Joelle Jones 1 in 50 variant. It's got the stylized D in the foreground, which has become a brand signature of sorts for Distillery. But you can see some of her artwork in the background and around the D, and it is a wraparound cover, so there's more on the back. Gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. You know, I talk about Distillery quite often on this channel, and I think it's worth mentioning again that their business model is so unique in that the creators themselves are also part owners, and they have full ownership and control of their work. It's such a rare and important thing in the comic book industry for creators to truly own what they create. It's a very progressive step forward for Distillery to be mindful of this and have those values. So, what's this book about? The Devil's Cut is an anthology featuring short stories that act as an introduction to the world of Distillery. I feel like it was important to them, being a new publisher, to introduce themselves to readers and just establish their vibe right off the bat, which is very smart. This was the perfect way to do that. Okay, on to some facsimile editions. Let's get into some early Justice League. This is Brave and the Bold number 30. This issue features the third appearance of the Justice League of America, and it's a Silver Age key. These early Justice League comics predate the Marvel superhero stuff, and these books were really instrumental in helping define the concept of superhero teams. After this issue of Brave and the Bold, the Justice League get their own ongoing title. The story's kind of wacky, but that's part of the charm of these old Silver Age stories. I will say DC is absolutely killing it with their facsimiles. The attention to detail is crazy, and no disrespect to Marvel or any of the other publishers, but this is insane, right down to the paper quality. I mean, this looks and feels like newsprint. It's not the same old glossy paper stock that they use for their current titles. And the only thing missing is that old comic book smell. They've even hidden the barcode on the back. I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's on the back instead of the front, so as to preserve the original artwork as it was originally presented back in 1960. Very cool. Next up is a more modern comic, but this is the facsimile of Batman 612. This is a pivotal issue from the massively popular Hush storyline by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. This came out in 2003, and Hush stands as one of my personal favorite Batman story arcs. And this particular issue features a mind-controlled Superman throwing down with Batman in Metropolis. And of course it features the iconic art of Jim Lee, which is nothing short of legendary. I'm super pumped to add this facsimile to my collection. Another comic I was really excited to pick up, and another Batman comic. This is an issue I've wanted in my collection for a very long time. And I'm so glad DC finally gave us this as a facsimile edition. Batman Adventures 12. And this is a huge issue. First Harley Quinn in print. I say in print because she actually debuted on the TV show Batman the Animated Series, which this comic series is in a way a companion piece to. This comic is probably one of the most sought after comic books from the modern era. Harley Quinn is a massively popular character. You don't need me to tell you that. But if you're trying to build your collection on a budget, like me, and this is on your list, this facsimile makes owning a big key very accessible. All right, let's keep this Batman train rolling because I got another banger here. This is another comic I've wanted in my collection for a very long time. Detective Comics 31. Batman covers just don't come any more iconic than this. And I actually did own a very beat up copy of Batman 227 at one time, which Neil Adams did an amazing homage to this cover. I ended up selling it along with some other comics during the COVID lockdown. But yeah, that was a dark period. And I don't think we're going to talk about that. But we are going to talk about this because Golden Age Batman is something totally different from what you're used to seeing, what you're used to reading. This is very early Batman. We're talking 1939. And Golden Age Batman was so different from modern interpretations. The storytelling and artwork have a moodier, darker, more pulp influence to it. The art, the storytelling, the characterization, much different from what you're used to reading. Okay, next up we have Swamp Thing 37. This issue is part of Alan Moore's legendary character redefining run on Swamp Thing, considered by many to be one of the greatest comic book runs of all time. This key issue contains the first full appearance of the Hellblazer, John Constantine. I mean, technically, he appeared briefly in issue 25 of this series, but this is considered to be his first full appearance. And that leads us in very nicely to the next comic, which you're not ready for this. I have here the first few issues of Wave 2 of Toy Otter's brilliant action figure variants. I feel like nobody's really talking about these, and that's a shame because they're so brilliant. The sheer joy and nostalgia these variants kick up in me is ridiculous. If you grew up in the 80s like I did, you'll no doubt remember these Superpowers action figures. Every kid wanted them. Jason Geyer and Alex Saviuk have produced a line of homage covers that capture these action figures and packaging in painstaking detail. Fun fact, Alex Saviuk was actually the original artist on the card backs of the actual Superpowers figures for Kenner back in the day, back in the 80s. And that adds, to me, an even deeper level of authenticity to these, and it just fosters even more nostalgia. I mean, look at the attention to detail on these. These action figures were digitally molded as if they were going into production as actual physical action figures, which apparently they're not, but here's to hoping that changes. If you look close, you can see a little reflection on the bubble, and there's a price sticker on it that's a little offset. It looks like somebody used one of those pricing guns on it. And I mean, look at the back. Come on. How cool is that? If that doesn't take you back to being a kid again, then you're either too young to remember these or you're just dead inside. Wave 1 featured 8 characters, and they came out last year. They're on the wall behind me. I have them displayed. And Wave 2 just started with these 3 issues, with more coming soon. First one, I already showed you. This is a variant cover of Swamp Thing 37, facsimile edition, which, yes, I bought 2 copies. Don't judge me. The second one is a Batgirl action figure, and this is a variant of the Batman Adventures 12. Yes, I bought 2 copies. Don't judge me. And the third that's been released so far is the Earth 2 Superman from Crisis on Infinite Earths. This issue is Crisis on Infinite Earths 12, the facsimile edition. These are the first 3. There's 9 in total on this wave, and you can kind of see them on the back there. I will definitely be talking about these more as they come out. I just want to say thank you to Jason and Alex for bringing these back to life, and giving that dopamine hit from the nostalgia is amazing. These are incredibly collectible, incredibly addictive to own. And there you have it. Okay, let's take a look at some collected editions that I bought last month. First up, we have from DC, the newest addition to the DC Finest line, which is aimed at collecting specific runs, themes, or character spotlights in a softcover format. Who doesn't love a team up, right? This is a collection of fun, slightly obscure DC superhero team up stories from the Bronze Age. This is from 1978 and 1979. It's really cool to see different heroes interacting in classic adventures. This book could be a great jumping on point for new readers, or a great entry point for discovering older stories. Okay, so we're going to close out today and this month's hauls with some Marvel Omnibuses that I picked up. We're going to start with Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts Volume 1 Omnibus. This collects Marvel Premiere 3-14, Doctor Strange 1-22, Annual Number 1, and The Tomb of Dracula 44. And this omnibus documents Doctor Strange's major relaunch. It's a completely different flavor from the 60s stuff, often considered a high point for the character. A lot of readers and comic book fans consider this to be the definitive Doctor Strange. And next we have Web of Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1. This is a big one. This one collects Web of Spider-Man 1-34, Annuals 1-3, along with Amazing Spider-Man 268 and 293-295, and The Spectacular Spider-Man 131-133. So what era of Spider-Man does this book cover? This comic run included some major developments during the Alien costume saga, and it led into events like Kraven's Last Hunt, which is collected in its entirety here. Okay, finally, we have the Ultimate Fantastic Four Volume 1 Omnibus. And this collects Ultimate Fantastic Four 1-32 and Annual Number 1. I have a bit of a soft spot for this book because when I got back into collecting comics in 2015, one of the ways I found to do a lot of catch-up reading was to buy comics at yard sales or from marketplace ads like Facebook or Kijiji. For my non-Canadian viewers, Kijiji is like our version of Craigslist. So anyways, I would buy up random boxes of comics, and one of the first bulk lots I bought, I ended up with a pretty big run of Ultimate Fantastic Four. I think it was the first 25 or 30 issues, basically what's collected here, but it wasn't complete. There was holes in the run here and there. But I read them and I fell in love with the story. I thought it was brilliant the way, it was like a reimagining of the Fantastic Four. You can think of it as an alternate timeline. This series featured work by writers Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Miller, and artists like Adam Kubert, who is known for a more stylized approach. The Ultimate Fantastic Four series is also where the massively popular Marvel Zombies concept originated. And this omnibus contains that original story arc. So if you like the Fantastic Four and you're looking for something a little bit different, I highly recommend this book. And that wraps up my March haul. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider sharing, liking, commenting, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And if you want to be sure that you never miss another video, why would you? You gotta Hulk smash that notification bell. It's free and it always will be. You can follow me on Instagram if that's your thing. Find me there at Old Man Young. That's Old Man Young with a 0, not an O. Until next time, stay safe and read some comics. Bye.